everybody, and welcome to yet another fabulous episode of Let's Be Perfectly Queer. With me, your host, Justine Diaz. Again, my wonderful co-host, Mr. Randy Davis, is not here. Again, his job has taken him elsewhere for the next little while, so we won't be seeing him, but he's here in spirit. We miss you dearly, Randy. I hope everything is going well. Again, with me on set, though, is the wonderful and beautiful Miss Jemm Doshay. Hello,
That's
Jemm.
Me.
It is.
I'm back again.
Again, back again.
Because I didn't read the contract carefully enough.
She thought she was only coming once, but she came twice. Anyway, so enough about your Saturday night. Exactly. Let's talk about some wonderful things that nobody ever wants to talk about. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm so happy to have you here.
Yes.
Again, thank you so much. But we do have to actually be a little bit more on the heavier side today. There are some issues that are really affecting us as a community, as the 2S LGBTQIA plus community, and just as our community as a whole. And I'm really happy to have you here so we can just kind of throw our opinions out there and just talk about some things that some people aren't aware of. So we have talked before about the drag queen story reads and the protesting that has been going on with those. A lot of the anti-drag stuff, the bills that have been passed in certain areas. And all well and good because drag is an art form. You know, people who do drag, you know, we take our drag off and we get to put it away.
Yes.
But for those of us who identify as trans or non-binary, or for those of us who identify on any part of the queer spectrum, gay, bisexual, anything like that, we can't take those off.
Yes.
We can't take that off. We can't put that away.
Yeah.
That's who we are deep down in our core. It's who we are as a human being.
Exactly. And there's some wigs you can't take off. There's some costumes you can't put in a closet. There's some things that just are there and you have to just talk about them.
Exactly. And so that's what we're going to do today a little bit. We are going to discuss some issues that are really affecting us, not only around the world, but here locally in Canada. We need to touch base on some things. And I think the biggest issue right now is I call it the diversion bill. I call it the look over there bill. The attack on our trans community, especially our trans youth.
Yes.
It's just been this whole narrative that's been put out about how, you know, children, it's all about the children and children need to, you know, we need to protect the children, we need to do this and we need to do that. But why hasn't anybody actually stopped and talked to these children? Why are these people making these decisions based on what they think is best for these children?
Right, this amorphous thing that doesn't even exist. Your kid might be trans, your kid might not be trans, but there should just be an open discussion so that if they realize they are or they aren't, they can talk about it. Because they might have a friend who's going through it who has parents who are much more accepting of that.
That's exactly it.
It might be nice for them to be able to talk to their friends about, hey, I heard you're transitioning. That's awesome. I love that you're finally getting to discover who you are.
Yep.
Because I have famously said this before. When people get to stand up and say who they are, the world just becomes a better, brighter, more interesting place.
And that's 100% true. When people get to live their true, authentic life and get to live in their own skin and be happy with what they see every day, that right there is what's going to make people happy. All of this rhetoric, all of this anti-trans, this is doing nothing but harming these children.
Exactly. And if just like kids be kids.
Yes, exactly.
Even when we do story times, we're not trying to put them into a box. We're not making them fill out forms to say, I'm boy, girl, other, none.
We want them to come as they are and just enjoy the activities and the things that we're doing. But when children come to our spaces, okay? When they come to our spaces, they come to the libraries, they come to the story reads. Those are supposed to be safe spaces for these children and their families.
Yes.
So are schools. Schools are supposed to be safe haven for students, correct?
Yes.
It's a place that they need to go to, that they should feel safe, they're going to learn, they're going to grow as individuals. And now we have these bills that are being passed in Alberta and possibly in Saskatchewan, these anti-trans legislations that are making teachers, forcing teachers to out trans or non-binary or non-gender conforming students, children who use different pronouns than they're given gender markers at birth. What do you think about that?
It's ridiculous. Like again, I've said it, let kids be kids, and if they want to, go by he, go by she, go by they, go by them, what does it matter? And if it's something that parents, they don't want to tell their parents, why would you put them in such a danger of scaring them? You should try to create the dialogue, but not expose the dialogue.
And that's exactly it. And what this is doing is it's putting children in harm's way. It's not protecting them in any way, shape, or form, because what happens if that child doesn't have that environment at home where they have that open dialogue, where they're afraid to come out and be their true authentic selves in front of their parents because of certain situations? You're literally putting a lamb in a lion's den. That's all you're doing.
I could not have said that better myself. That's just exactly what it is. You're just creating an issue where there doesn't have to be an issue. And
that in itself is the issue, is why is the way people want to live their life and the way people want to identify, why is that anybody else's issue? Why is that? Why do people feel that they need to put their nose in the businesses of parents who want their children to just grow up being who they truly want to be? Right?
Right, exactly. And I think that just goes without saying, education doesn't stop just because school's over.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity for parents, again, just who want to learn more about what their neighbors might be going through, what their friends might be going through, what their child might be going through. There's nothing wrong with reaching out to your child's teacher and saying, hey, this is a subject I want to talk about with you one-on-one. Even if you don't think your kid is trans, it's still a conversation to have just to prepare yourself for if any kid is trans.
Well, that's exactly it, because we, as a multicultural society, we deal with different people from all walks of life all day long, from different religious backgrounds, different ethnic backgrounds, different areas of the world. Why is it that we have to be this way for those group of people, but this specific group of people are literally being targeted, especially the ones who are trying to figure out their way in life? Just being a teenager, being a young preteen and a teenager is hard enough. Could you imagine what it's got to be like for our trans siblings who are growing up in the wrong skin? How screwed up were we back then? Can you imagine how hard it is for them? And then you throw this on top of that? That's not fair.
Yeah, no, I couldn't be gay in high school.
No.
100% no. It was just not ever going to happen.
No.
You couldn't be gay, you couldn't be different, and if you were different, you need to make sure you're not different.
100%. And I was the only out gay person in my high school, and let me tell you, I was put through the ringer. I got beat up, I got things thrown at me, called names all through whatever. But again, you learn to build a thicker skin, and I think that's why it's super important for our generation of queer people to be there, to be the advocates, to stand there to help these young people learn to stand on their own 2 feet and have a voice for themselves. Now, not only is this happening in Alberta, but now it's starting to slowly trickle its way into Saskatchewan, and they are trying to introduce some legislation in there to do the same thing. What do you have to say to like if you could say anything to the governments, the provincial governments, what would you say to them? Like what, off the top of your head, what would you say to them just to be like, smarten up?
Yeah, is that my camera? Stop it. Stop it right now. You let kids be kids. You let them grow up how they want to grow up. And if parents want your help, they will ask you for your help. Do not step in where you do not belong.
And she said that, right?
Got mad, I'm sorry.
But that's exactly it. It's getting to the point now where we're just gonna have to start getting mad.
Yes.
We're gonna have to start getting mad, and we're gonna have to start putting our foot down even harder. We already have, and we need to continue to put our foot down harder. But it's not just here. This stuff is coming up from the United States.
Yes.
Okay? Now, let me tell you, as much as I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that's happening in the United States, The one thing I do have to say is
Trump
that
is great. No.
we'll strike
So
that from the
one,
record.
100%.
No, the one thing I do have to say is that there are some stuff that the United States is doing, their government is doing, that we as a Canadian government, our Canadian government isn't stepping into. And one of those is redirecting funding or using their power to kind of hold back things from people. So we've been talking about the anti-trans bills and this legislation towards kids and all of these things that are happening. Let's go out into the world a little bit more and let's talk about places like Uganda and Ghana and all of these places where they have now made it legal to be homophobic. To literally to go out and kill somebody because they're gay. To report them to the police, to report them to the local government so they can be arrested, put in prison, and be sentenced to death for being gay. Not trans, not non-gender conforming, none of that. Just being with somebody of the same gender. And not just identifying. If you're out in public and you're caught showing any type of public displays of affection, instantaneous jailing. You can instantly be taken and killed and stabbed right in the streets. Like, what is that?
It's ridiculous is what it is. It's just, how can you tell someone, it's the same equivalent as you can't be blonde in public, you can't be tall, you have to be short. Like, you can't just tell people something that some aspect of them is wrong or illegal.
And it's all done under the guise of religion. And that is the biggest bunch of baloney. And I will say this, I am not a person of faith, but I have lots of people in my life that are, and they hold their faith very deep. But I will tell you that this is not what they believe in.
No.
This is not what their Christian Bible believes in or their Catholic Bible. This is not the way that they see and view the world. Because at the end of the day, the stories that we learn from the Bible is all about love and accepting and treating your neighbor with respect and doing unto others as you would have done unto you, correct?
Correct.
Exactly. So why are they taking this book and using bits and pieces of it to literally destroy? Because that's what's happening. These groups of people are literally trying to eradicate queer, non-gender conforming, trans people. Like, it's just completely mind-boggling.
And eradicate is the right word. I believe there was a U.S. politician forever ago who let it slip. It goes, we need to eradicate transgenders from school. I'm like, eradicate is a strong word to use there.
And that's the other thing too, this whole use of transgenderism isn't a thing. It isn't an ism. Being transgender is a thing. So let's maybe check out our vocabulary there a little bit. I just want to pick up my notes here because there's a little something that I wanted to read to you. So there is an activist visiting Toronto. His name is Stephen Kabuye. He is from Uganda, and in January, he was stabbed in public and left for dead. He said they have legalized homophobia. They have given public mandate to kill people because where I can get justice, even the people want to arrest me. Isn't that crazy? So this man was literally stabbed and left for dead in the streets, and he can't even go to the police for protection because the police want to see him dead.
When the people who are there to protect you don't want to protect you because of, again, just for being you. Like, who do you turn to in those situations?
There is nobody to turn to, and that's the thing. It gives these people no sense of hope, no sense of belonging, no sense of the right to exist as a human being. Because, again, I said it before, people are constantly looking at labels. They're looking at straight, gay, black, white, trans, whatever. When you boil it down, people forget the humanity behind it. They forget the fact that these people, we are all human beings sharing this planet, trying to survive, and all we're doing is fighting against each other and destroying it. There's something seriously wrong with that.
To be told I shouldn't exist, to be told I don't deserve to breathe is just, it hurts my brain to think that I should have less rights than anybody else.
And as adults, it's still hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. But again, we grew up in a generation where we had to fight and protect ourselves all the time. And you know, we thought we were paving a way. We thought we were opening, you know, a bridge door for these like these queer youth to come through and just be able to live their true, authentic selves. And now we're going backwards.
Yeah.
We're completely going backwards. They want us back to the 1800s where men were men, women were women, barefoot and pregnant, you know. And again, I'll tell you right now, and I've listened to people say it before, right now they're attacking trans people and they're attacking queer people. And what's not gonna say they're gonna then move it down to, you know, BIPOC or to women or to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're already seeing attacks on women. Like it's a trickle down effect. And this is the rhetoric that is getting spread and put out there. A lot of the stuff in the United States that really bothers me, and again, this is just my own opinion, but everyone keeps citing the Constitution. Oh, it's my constitutional right. It's my constitutional right for this, blah, 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 blah. The reason why the Constitution was put into place in the first place was to keep church and state separate. Completely separate. And now we are seeing the Bible and Christian passages, and when I say Christian, I mean Christo-fascist passages, being put into legislation to make them bills, to make them law. And people are praying and having chant prayers on the Senate floors. Like this, there's something not right with this. This is, the church has no business in government, and the government has no business in our bedrooms.
Right.
Period. Right?
Right. No one has any business in my bedrooms.
Well, unless I invite you.
Unless bedroom is my business.
Exactly. Yeah, so then everybody's welcome. No, but seriously though, this is, it's really a very spicy and scary topic for people. And people don't realize, and I don't think people kind of get it, when you're cisgendered, when you're, you know, you identify as heterosexual, you get to live this like this autonomy. You get to float through existence of life because that's how everything is supposed to be. You know, everyone goes about, oh, you're shoving all this down our throats. You're shoving all this gay, queer stuff down our throats. Hi, our entire lives, your heteronormative agenda was forced down our throats.
Yes.
And we had to live that way. So now we're just trying to be seen, we're just trying to be heard.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to say we're shoving it down your throats. That's not the way it's going.
We're just trying to stand up and say, we're here.
We're here, we have the right to exist.
Exactly.
Right? And again, we are not transgendered.
No.
We do not have the ability to speak upon the transgendered experience, but what we do have is knowledge, and we have a platform, and we will speak for our transgendered siblings and support them wholeheartedly because it is our job. That is our job as a queer community, as that whole alphabet mafia acronym.
Yes.
It is our job to stand up and support each other. And the interfighting even still within our community is absolutely ridiculous. But my point was, what I was saying is when cisgender people, you know, heterosexual, heteronormative people get to go out on vacation, for instance. They're like, oh, let's find a resort where we can do this, and let's find a resort where we can go here and do this. And when we as queer people, we as trans people, we go on vacation, we're going, where can we go that we're not gonna get killed?
Yeah. We as queer people, we don't get to choose our vacation.
Right, exactly. It's when people kind of understand that dynamic and see that, it kind of, for most people, they kind of step back and are like,
yeah.
But people don't think about that. On the other hand, though, we do have people using their platform, which I absolutely love. So we, on a smaller scale, you know, we're here on our cable access network, using our platform to talk about what we're talking about, but we have people, Canadian music artists, especially the ones, we had Tegan and Sarah at the Juno Awards. We had Anne Murray speak out against it as well. All of these Canadian music artists are signing petitions to get rid of this anti-trans legislation here in Canada.
Yes.
And it really just, it warms my heart to see that there are people actually using their platform for what they're for, and not to stir the masses or to try to coerce people into doing things.
Like there's even like local drag queens, like I don't know if you know Selena Vile.
Yes.
Her entire platform is fantastic, and she knows how to use it, and she's wielding it to get her message across and make sure that issues that I wouldn't normally look for are brought to light, and so that I see them and that they're there and they're part of her Instagram stories, and they're just part of her Facebook. They're part of everything that someone does, and it's like it's not their whole message, but it's a big part of what they say.
Well, and it's a huge part for her because she is somebody who is Middle Eastern, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And so she has a lot of, you know, not only being queer, but then dealing with cultural stuff and being queer, being a gender performer, because she is a bearded queen.
Yes.
And we absolutely love her. But she brings forth those issues that us as white queens, we don't even know.
Yeah.
We don't know, and so it's amazing to have people like that in our group to help educate us and bring us up and keep us on the know, right? So that's why we're here to kind of spread that information on, right?
Yeah, and as a cisgendered white man underneath all this, I know, shocking, there are some topics that I can't speak on, but I want to know about, and it's good that there's people out there who do use their platform and are saying things and are making it aware so that we can find out through them, like telling their stories.
Exactly, because again, the term "from the horse's mouth," like we can have hearsay from a bunch of different people and it's a broken telephone game.
Yeah.
I want to hear it from the source. I want to hear it from people who have had the experience, who've lived the experience, who are living the experience. And so I can get a firsthand knowledge myself and then be able to factually give information. If I don't know something about a topic, I'm not talking about it. Just a quick sidebar here, a lot of people ask me questions about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. My comment to that is I have no opinion.
Yeah.
Because it is a conflict that is going on. I understand exactly what is going on. I have my opinion on it, but I don't have an opinion that I want to share with other people because it is my opinion. And I think a lot of people need to kind of take a page from that book.
Yeah, and I'll say this like again and again. I'm not a political person. I don't follow a lot of news and stuff. I just try to make my community itself as good as I can. Yep. But when people ask my opinions on those things, I can't give an opinion because I'm not informed enough.
Well, and that's exactly it.
I'd rather give no opinion than an uninformed opinion.
Yes.
Because it's just too much.
Exactly. So on that note, what is it that you're doing for yourself, not just as Jemm, but as, you know, your cisgendered boy self, to go out into the community? What are you doing to help make your community better?
Honestly, I'm just listening to the people around me and finding out what they need, and I'm just trying to entertain. I'm trying to let them forget about their world for a few minutes. Even when I'm Lucas and I'm not Jemm and Lucas is out in the world, I'm helping. Even just a woman, like today, there was a woman who was like had like 6 bags of groceries and she was struggling, and I'm just like, full face, I'm ready to come see you, and I'm just like, let me help you. Let me just take a couple of those bags. We'll walk. 2 blocks later, I'm still walking with this woman, and I'm just like, you help people. That's all what I'm saying.
That's exactly it. That's right there is, it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from.
Yes.
You as a human being need to be there for other human beings. That's it.
Yep.
Period.
Help people, use your platform, and let kids be kids. Those are the big messages, I think, more or less, that I'm just trying to get across today.
Exactly, and I'm very grateful that you're here to share those opinions. To me, I just feel that the pendulum has swung so far from one side and to the other, and we need to find that happy middle ground again. We need to have more open conversations with people. We need to be able to have conversations and be able to debate with people without it being an argument or a fight. And we need to be able to express ourselves as individuals regardless of who we are without fear. We need to be able to be ourselves unabashedly without fear. And the only way that that's going to happen is if we keep doing the things that we're doing, if we keep getting out there and spreading the message and spreading the word. And, you know, that's what I try to do in my Drag History Queer 101 program that I run for the libraries and for other speaking engagements. I touch a lot on how these bills and this rhetoric is affecting our community all over North America and in some parts of the world. Like, one of the biggest things that I do for myself and for our community is I do as much as I can with charities like Rainbow Railroad.
Yes.
You know, Rainbow Railroad is an organization that helps people find amnesty in a place, because where they're from, again, like Uganda and other places in the world where homosexuality is illegal, they can literally be killed, sentenced to death for just being with who they are, and being with the person that they want to be with.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it takes on average of $10,000 to get one person.
Yep.
One person over into North America and get them into safety. So anybody out there, if you, even something as simple, you know, this whole Bud Light craze, everyone's going on about Bud Light, how it's this, that, and the other thing, and it'll make you gay. Well, guess what? For the last 2 decades, Bud Light has been doing this and supporting the Rainbow Railroad through their beer sales during the Pride Month. And $1 from every purchase of the Bud Light Pride edition goes directly to Rainbow Railroad.
Yeah. And if you don't like Bud Light, buy a case anyway, keep it in your fridge.
Give it to people.
Give it away.
Yeah.
Halloween's coming.
And you can help out in any little way, like even as something as simple as going out and buying a case of beer.
Yes.
How ridiculous is that?
Exactly.
And people think they need to go out and, you know, do all these different things and be there marching and holding signs. And yes, that's great. We definitely want that. We want that. We want you to be out there pounding the pavement and being that voice. But there's so many different capacities and ways that you can help out with helping by something as simple as buying a case of beer, donating $5 or $10 to Rainbow Railroad, Amnesty International, any type of organization that is fighting against human trafficking, anything like that.
Yeah. Or in all honesty, whatever your platform is at home, there's somebody out there who is doing work to help you to fight homelessness, to fight hunger, to fight
inequality to disabled people.
Yeah.
All of these different things that are huge issues in our community.
So just reach out to any of those charities, offer to help, see what you can do with even just an hour a month to help them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you again, Jemm, for your wonderful conversation. And I always love sitting and kikiing with you. You're my sister, and it's nice to just be able to sit here and just talk. I definitely will have you back again very, very soon.
Yes.
If you would, like to come back.
Yeah, and if Randy never comes back, you could use a new co-host.
Exactly, right? Randy, your seat, it's on fire, just letting you know.
Coming for you, Randy.
Anyway, again, thank you so much for all of you tuning in. Again, this was just a little bit of our opinions on some certain things that are going on in the world. Feel free to reach out and tell us how you think of what you can do in the community to help out. If you want more information, please check out any of the Amnesty International Rainbow Railroad websites, and you can get all that information for yourself. Again, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Justine Diaz. Mr. Randy Davis is not here. He sends his love. We hope to see you soon. Stay safe and love each other. Bye for now.
And I sing the theme song as we close out the show.
Right, yeah.
And then I fade it down because it's